Alrighty, this week, we're here with Leigh Butler from Aligned Living Holistic Therapies. How are you, Leigh?
I'm well, thank you. How are you today?
I'm fantastic, thanks. Fantastic. Well, firstly, thanks for taking part in this. This is really good of you. Very happy for that. So, yeah. All right, so let's get started. Let's tell us a little bit about your business, the Aligned Living Holistic Therapies.
Yes, I am both a life coach and an RTT practitioner. I work with mostly with women. I do work with some men, but I mostly work with women who are facing things like anxiety, depression, imposter syndrome, and just different issues with confidence and self worth and things like that. RTT is like a hybrid therapy that combines principles of NLP, CBT, hypnotherapy, and also neuroscience. Um, we basically work at a subconscious level to get to the root cause of the issue and resolve it from where it began.
Yep. Very good. So, just for those who might not know, what does RTT actually stand for?
Rapid transformational therapy.
Yep, no worries. No, cool. Yeah, because I get that a lot with people when they ask me what does NLP stand for, and yeah, so just to clarify, because people, what's that mean? So, but you explain what it actually was. So, okay, so just briefly, what made you start or go down this road? Because you haven't always been doing this. You've only been doing this in recent years. Like, so what sent you down that path of going like doing this business?
So I originally started in network marketing, and I started like many new mums do, wanting to spend extra time at home with the kids and not go back to work and all that sort of thing. So I got into network marketing, and while I loved the opportunity and what it offered, I was seeing, both myself and a lot of others around me who were struggling with their mindset. Um, I know that you're aware, the network marketing has a lot of personal development involved in it. So once I went down that path, a whole heap of things from my own past kind of popped up, and I had to work through a lot of things, and it really sent me on the path of mindset,
Yep.
personal development, and kind of healing trauma and past baggage. So I then decided I was going to both study to be a life coach and also go into the rapid transformational therapy. And it just felt like my calling, felt like what I was meant to do.
Yep. No, very good. Very good. So, how long have you been doing the art, like the holistic therapies, the RTT? Don't know if we've covered.
Probably about 2.5 years
Yep.
now, I
Yep.
think.
Right.
Around about two
Yep,
and a
very,
half years. Yes,
very
yes.
good. Very good. Okay, so obviously with that you work in a like cover a variety like a broad area, both within the state Australia and right across the country and even internationally. So it's not you're not single down to one little area, so you can cover everywhere. Yep.
I am. I mostly work online. I am in the process of organising to set up like an in-person practice as well.
Okay.
But I do a lot of my work online, and I find it works a lot better because
Yep.
people can do it in the comfort of their own home. And they're not having to go anywhere to access it, which makes it a lot easier to relax and to actually get into it.
No, that's right. Um, Now you're actually in Queensland, so you're in the Hervey Bay area. So I take it that's where you're going to be looking at in that area, setting up like the in person. Yeah.
I am, yeah, looking at setting up around Harvey Bay. I've had a look at a couple of sites, but
Yep.
looking for the perfect place. I've got kind of like a big overall plan. We're
Yep.
looking at getting property acreage, and I eventually want to set up something within the acreage to run
Okay.
the business out of as well. There's a lot of work in different parts to
Yeah.
it. So there'll be, animal assisted therapies and things like that
Yep.
as well.
Very good. Very good. Okie dokie. All right. So we'll just move on to the other part of our session there. So just a few different. This next part is more around different struggles, obstacles, overcoming. So I know every business owner has faced struggles or obstacles at one point in time. We all have. We all do. It's just interesting to know how different people's struggles and how they overcome because we never know what might help someone else. So,
Yes.
um, all right. So, firstly, have there ever been moments throughout this business or even previous businesses where you have felt like just throwing in the towel and just gone, up, I've had enough, throwing the towel? And if so, what kept you going or what helped you get through it?
Most definitely. I suppose I think whenever you start a business, you hit moments like that where you're just ready to throw it all away, and it can become a little bit overwhelming or a little bit too much. And especially, juggling children within the mix and things like that as well can get a little bit demanding. So I have been there on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
I think what really kept me going is the bigger vision to help others on releasing their past and releasing their trauma and actually living thriving and joyful lives. I come across so many people who are struggling, whether it's within their personal relationships or parenting itself, and they just have lost that joy and lost that spark.
Yep.
And I personally went through a lot when I was younger myself, and I've been in that place. And I didn't think I was going to come back from that place at one stage. So I know what it feels like, and I
Mhm.
also know that although it can be a difficult road, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So I think that's what really keeps me moving forward and keeps me working towards it.
No, that's fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah. Um, well, that pretty much actually covers the another question I've got there. What keeps you passionate about the business or keeping staying in the business? And you pretty much said that, like for the helping others. So
Yeah.
that would be a big passion of yours too. So um okay. Where are we? So we've covered what inspired you. How have you personally managed to maintain motivation? Um because when you mentioned before, like the network marketing,
Yes.
as we're both aware, we're in the same network marketing field, and it did get to like for us, and I'm sure it did for you, got to points where you were just lacked motivation in that. So whether there was any points within your current business where you've got to that point where you lack motivation, pardon me. How did you manage to maintain that motivation, keep you going?
For me, I find actually taking a little bit of a step back for that self care and making sure I'm looking after what I need. I tend to be like a type A, type A personality who, go, go, go and always pushing to create and things like that. And I find it detaches me from my purpose and what I'm trying to do for myself. So taking that step back to come back to me, and center back into my values,
Yep.
and the bigger mission. I think you can kind of get caught up in that snowball of needing to do, and you tend to go off a path quite easy. So it's important for me to come back to regular practices, whether it's I change depending. So definitely meditation,
Yep.
and breathing practices to bring me back to myself and just reminding myself what the purpose is,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to create.
Uh,
And that kind of keeps me moving forward.
Cool. Awesome. It's fantastic. Um, okay, so as a coach yourself, have you ever had or used a coach for yourself, or do you have a coach?
Yes,
Like, do you currently have a coach,
I
or
do.
you do? Yep. Um, so just how do you like? You find that obviously having a coach you find very valuable, but how would you describe like for other people who don't really understand the whole process of a coach. Like, so just briefly, how is it beneficial to anybody as a business owner to look to have a coach or a mentor?
I think just opening up the different possibilities. So, especially when, I mean, every business has struggles. So,
Yep.
I think once we get stuck in those struggles, it's really easy to become closed minded and focus on the negative side of it, or, um, really closing off the different possibilities and having somebody to go through that with, and just to open up your mind and, make you see that there's different ways, and just the questioning that you kind of don't
Yep.
come to on your own. I know personally, can easily get caught up in my own mind drama. So it's really easy, to get stuck in that, oh, everything's doomed. But really having a coach to bounce things back and forth from and open my mind up helps me to get out of my own way.
Yep. No, that's it. That's exactly right. So, um, okay, now just a couple of others. What apart from what you've already described, like with like what sort of kept you going, keeps you going, passionate about what is there anything else that you would class as your biggest why for doing what you do?
Probably my boys,
Yep.
I'd say. So,
Yep.
not only creating, a better lifestyle for us where I can decide my own hours and work around my family, but also showing them what's possible,
Yep.
and teaching them, that if they want something, that they can create it and go after it themselves.
That's it. That's exactly right. Because unfortunately, society tries to tell them from a young age that they've got to do things a certain way, and that's not the case, which
Yes,
we've learned over the years ourselves. And yeah,
yes, most definitely.
okay, yeah. So, um, now one last thing: what would be one piece of advice you would give anyone that's either starting out or looking to start out in their own business?
I think getting very clear on why they want the business
Yep.
and really reaching to those deepest levels, because I know for me it started as I want a bit of extra money to be able to stay at home with my family, but when I really unpacked it, I found the drive and the motivation behind why I wanted to do it and what I wanted to create.
Yes.
And I think that's what helps me get through those hard moments, because there's always going to be tough times no matter what business you go into.
Exactly.
So it's got to be for you and for the right reasons.
No, absolutely. Fantastic. All right. Well, we might wrap it up at that. Just keep it brief, like with because you pretty much answered other questions there. With yeah, I've got to go through my questions and check them out. So, but yeah, look, thank you very much for that, Leigh. I really appreciate you taking the time to jump on with this. And I'm sure your like what we've just discussed will help others. So on that note, if anyone is encountering blocks and obstacles and you're just not sure how to get through it, I do highly recommend going down the road of like reach out to Leigh. I do, as I said, I do highly recommend. Like, he's very powerful stuff what you do. Knowing like from myself starting recent training similar, but yeah, look, it is very powerful stuff. So yes, reach out to Leigh. All her socials will be within this or the other posts. So yeah, look, reach out and yeah, see how she can help you get yourself sorted and back on track.
Thank you so much. I very much appreciate the opportunity today.
Not a problem at all, Leigh. Thank you for that. I know. See ya.
See you later.